What's the matter with you? Why are you talking about Dabo Swinney like that?
Dabo's not concerned.
I'm concerned for him. It was very disrespectful, Paul Finebaum. I would remind you that the man has won 27 straight, that he is the reigning defending national champion, that since 2015, his record is 67-4.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, Paul, listen, it's not his fault.
I've never heard him criticize anyone.
Here's my whole point. Here's my whole point coming to the defense of my man Dabo Swinney.
Can't wait to hear that.
I got to ask this question. Is it his fault that he's in the ACC? Is it his fault?
Stephen, I never said, all I said was that he's a crybaby.
A crybaby?
That's all I said.
No, you said he needs a pacifier.
I mean,
But Paul,
I think he needs one too, by the way.
I'm just saying that. Paul's my man. I'm going to eat it because that's my man, Paul. But I'm just saying, it's Dabo Swinney here. He is the reigning defending national champion. He does beat everybody in front of him. He did smoke Notre Dame in the college football semifinal. He smoked Alabama. He didn't beat them. Smoked Alabama in the national championship.
I don't want to hear that.
Don't you have to defer to some degree with what you've seen him do when he has faced competition?
I realize I'm not the host, but could you explain to Stephen A. Smith the way college football works? That it's not like British royalty, that it goes from generation to generation, that each year supposedly is new, David?
Yeah, it's supposedly new, but it looks the same for Alabama, or for Clemson.
It does.
It looks exactly. They're dominating everybody they play. Listen, here's the thing. I love Dabo Swinney. He's one of my favorite coaches in all of college football. I will admit, I don't react ever like you do, but I had a similar reaction of Dabo. Dabo has the easiest job in college football. Of all these top jobs, he has the easiest. You know why? Because the media gives all the fodder he needs. Your team's not good enough. Saban has to psychologically make his players believe they're not the favorites because they're told how great they are. Ohio State told how great they are. Joe Burrow, how great they are. Clemson, they're kind of just eking by. Dabo's got it made for him. All they got to do is, hey, listen to him. Clemson's not good enough.
Isn't that basically what he's doing by saying what he says at the press conferences? That's what he's doing, right?
And by the way, let's not let him off the hook. The ACC sucks.
It's their most legitimate game of the year. They're playing for a championship, which matters to the College Football Playoff Committee. And you lay an egg? No, you don't deserve to be in. That's ridiculous.
Before you chime in, I will say this. Let me just say this last point, then I'll leave it to the experts. Here's my deal. You know, by virtue of you being Dabo Swinney and complaining about what you've been complaining about, what they're trying to do to you. In other words, leave you out on the outside looking in. So knowing that and knowing that you can't lose to Virginia because that will give fodder, that would add fodder to everything everybody's been saying, right? To me, knowing what's at stake, you cannot lose this game. That much I will say. I don't think it's fair, but you know what the situation is. Handle it. And I believe Clemson will.
But see, I don't look at Clemson as getting slighted. If we're putting Clemson, LSU, and Ohio State together, I think they're very comparable. I think they're all three really good teams. Mm-hmm. Those other two teams have great resumes. They've got 4 and 3 top 25 wins. They deserve to be ahead of Clemson.
Agreed.
Okay, 1 loss Clemson, 1 loss Oklahoma. You're telling me Oklahoma's better than Clemson?
I agree, but educate me.
They're not. They still should be in, I think.
But David, educate me. Is there anything that Clemson could have done to elevate its schedule? Is there anything
there's nothing they could have done, but that doesn't mean I penalize Ohio State or LSU for playing good teams.
Gotcha.
Clemson doesn't deserve credit for not playing great teams. It's not their fault, no.
But is it completely not? One thing I kind of agree with is if you're in a weak conference, could you schedule an out-of-conference game that might, that's not just a gimme?
By the way, can we talk about that real quick? Because they have 2 SEC teams on their out-of-conference schedule.
They do.
A&M,
Clemson.
And South Carolina.
You can't predict 3 years out or whatever.
24-10 win over Texas A&M. LSU just annihilated them.
Yeah, but I'll defend Clemson for once. I mean, scheduling a home-and-home with A&M is a good scheduling move.
Right. So you're holding against them the fact that teams weren't ranked as you may have predicted they might be ranked.
We're holding their conference against them because it's such a weak conference. Bobby Bowden made a living in the 90s beating up the same teams.
It's the same now.
Yeah, he had one game every year, Clemson.
Yeah, and Florida State being so down and being so out, like that, we at least had that rivalry every year when Jimbo Fisher was there. You're like, we could point to that game where elite athletes were going to go at it. Now you don't even
I
have
want to
that.
ask you about your Georgia Bulldogs. Did they deserve to keep that 4 spot?
Yeah. I mean, again, for what they've accomplished on the field, they have a horrible loss. Nobody's going to take that away. But everybody they're competing against also has a horrible loss. Utah lost to USC, their third-string quarterback. I mean, if you want to go down, Oklahoma lost to Kansas State, they're not in the rankings. So they've beaten 3 top 25 teams. They've beaten Notre Dame. They've beaten Florida. They've beaten Auburn. They have a great resume. They go beat LSU,
but
they're in. They control their own destiny. It really doesn't matter.
So we come back to Dabo, and we ask the simple question. When you take into account the fact that he can't control his schedule, he can't control the fact that he's in the ACC conference, okay? But he is 67-4. He's on a 27-game winning streak, and he's the reigning defending national champion.
Do we
not look at that and say, excuse me, they got a right to defend their crown if they're undefeated?
And they're going to have that right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You and Dabo have the same problem. You can't control your mouth.
Wow. I would argue that Paul might be in that. Hold on. Can you say y'all 3? Can you say y'all 3?
Exactly. And how you excluding yourself
I'm about
from
to
that
say.
conversation?
Your nickname is the Mouse of the
Only
South.
one of the 3 of you have not been the nickname.
has the word mouse in it.
The nerve of it, right? The nerve of it. We brothers for a reason, my man. You're in the same boat. Come on now.
All right. Let's pay some bills.
That's right.
Good times, guys. This was
We
a
get
lot
to
of
pay
fun.
him.
You're going to be back with us. He's already paid.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.